seconds.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first game. What am I talking about? These are best of ones. The first game between Reborn and Mayhem of Agoras Solstice. Everyone, welcome to open beta. It's been an absolute pleasure thus far, and we can't wait for the future. And here we are in orange. Reborn. Tell me who's on it.
We've got Jay Leo Grande rocking the Chimera. Imsco is on Grim. Solo Nazgul rocking the Gadget. Reflect, there it is, on Greystone. And Peace Turtle is on Grux.
And over on Mayhem, Laffy Taffy on Howitzer, Blaze Master B on Steel, Raffle My Waffle on Sparrow, Griever on Rampage, and Live Lunatic on the Face. So we talked about that Greystone, how it's going to be contested. I know some people in chat were talking about how Reflect plays a sick, nasty Greystone. So there he is. He's going to be that solo over in the blue lane. And I really like the way Reflect builds, and I believe Peace Turtle does the same thing when they put melee fighters in the solo lane. They generally... Okay, just kidding. I was going to make a point about like a build they go, but they're just going health potion.
Go straight, so. Yeah. So the bans for this particular match are Decker, and of course the Murdoch, which some would say is the strongest ranger in the game.
By a significant amount, I think.
So of course you're going to take out this incredible ultimate out of Decker, this Cage, which really does a great job at shutting down this triple fighter. That's what the reason we're getting rid of the Decker.
Yeah.
But you counter that, Lavi Tavi counters that, and he picks up Howitzer.
Yes.
You're going to take away my Decker. I'm going to pick up Howitzer, who is incredibly strong with dealing with this heavy fighter melee, because he has his slow mines.
Look at this.
He's got a great zoning tool with his bombardment. Live Lunatic has to be careful here. I don't think he has a ward yet, and here comes Leo Grande and Peace Turtle.
Live Lunatic.
Yeah, Live Lunatic with the pullback. He's going to rest in peace. Live Lunatic just got deleted. That was a quick engagement. You got to play very passively when you have these fighters. Very, very passively.
I had to turn you up there, Notch. For what? I don't know. So, Imsco on Grim here. I like this because if you actually look at Reborn's draft, he's the only energy damage on their team. Everything else is pure physical. So, well, of course, and there's always Nazgul as well. But, just kidding. They have 2 energy. Point I'm trying to make is they're fighters. Their fighters are all physical damage. So if I am Mayhem, I'm going to exploit the fact that their fighters are with the early game advantage. Speaking of which, Leo Grande's known for his aggressive juggling, but the particular thing about aggression is sometimes it's a double-edged sword, and he's going to get taken out. So he went in there, and a full 5-man rotation for that kill. I don't know if that's necessarily worth it, rotating that many people for 1 kill. Not putting any pressure on Imsco. Imsco's known for his ranger play, and known if you just let him sit back and farm, the dude's just going to last hit creep and be as content as one can be.
The Punisher. He's got his nickname, the Punisher, for a reason. He is absolutely devastating in the Ranger role, and we have seen him 1v2 nerds in the past. So letting him free farm is a terrible, terrible decision, and they're still letting him free farm. Maybe they're waiting for a rotation to pick him up.
Yeah.
We do have 3 over here at the red buff. Well, there's 2 at the red buff, and Griever's picking up the Harvester there, which is 3 minutes, so Harvesters have spawned. Expect these teams to focus, not focus on the enemy Harvesters, but make their rotations and pick up these Harvesters. We had a lot of people ask us, I was talking about it last night on my stream, are Harvesters important at higher tiers? And abso-freaking-lutely, it's free card power for everybody.
Yeah.
If you get behind, every 8 minutes you're giving your team 600 card power if you allow the Harvesters to fill up. So it's a ton of card power that is basically free for everybody on the map. So making an effort to pick these up is huge. There are certain timings. Harvesters at 3 minutes. Lane Harvesters at 6 minutes. And of course, the big one is the Black Buff, who has this beautiful new art. I'm waiting for some sort of dragon to be placed here with the eggs.
I think so, man.
Like, I want a dragon. I want a flying death bat of doom and destruction. But at 6 minutes, that will spawn. The Black Buff gives you a dot. Every time you attack a target, you'll refresh the dot, but it's about 150 damage, which you take into account armor and whatnot. It actually drops down a little bit. But it's a dot that you attack, and it'll hit multiple times, and every time you auto-attack, it refreshes that dot. So expect at 6 minutes there to be some sort of push here. Whether we see them actually push a tower, they just want that precious, precious card power.
And talking about this area, there's... As far as this is such an awkward area to fight. You have this choke point right here. You have this high ground right here that we can see rangers get onto, and fighters can sometimes have a difficult area. That's a difficult area for them to really just pin onto any target if they don't have any forms of gap closing. This choke point here is just a lot of choke points, big wide open area, 2 choke points right here. So anytime there's a battle in this area, it can get pretty crazy pretty quickly, especially if it's a full 5-man commit from both teams. But in an area that's this confined, I look at heroes like Gadget, Solo Nazgul on Reborn, and I look at heroes like Howitzer on the side of Mayhem, the big AoE. So Howitzer we generally see picked up with Decker. It's a love duo that it's tried and true. The Decker containment fence, obviously that's not the case. You talked about it just a couple minutes ago, Notch, where the Decker was banned out. And so sometimes a lot of people say this, and I tend to agree with this sentiment, that Howitzer's strength is derived from Decker's ultimate utilization and the synergy they have together. And there's no Decker here. So at first I was like, I don't know about this. But then I started thinking about Live Lunatic Faye, one of the more recent additions to the hero pool in Paragon, about hashtag 6 weeks ago, a little over 6 weeks ago. Actually, it was 4 weeks ago. I don't know, math is hard for me, guys. Her ultimate can kind of play that same role with the fly trap to pull people in, as well as the snare that she brings to the table. So I expect to see that same sort of play style between the Faye and the Howitzer, synergizing each other's ults and looking for just big wombo combo potential.
6 minutes. We already have Team Reborn at the black buff. They're basically going to get this for free. We're seeing Reflect get a little bit aggressive on Griever here, who's trying to pick up that camp. Rotation coming out. Griever's just going to jump. Peace Turtle hits him with a huge smash and grab, pulls him back down. There's a bomb from Solo Nazgul. 4 seconds of death. He is going to end up falling here. Nothing really the team could do but other than watch him die in the jungle. They have to be careful. You were just talking about Live Lunatic, Labby Tavi, and Blaze Master B. We've got you. Yes, we don't have that containment field change, but we've got Venus Flytrap into that shield slam, into a bombardment. The amount of damage that comes out of that, if they can combo that properly, will wipe an enemy team. Yeah. It's absolutely absurd.
It is.
I love the aggression of Leo Grande here. I talked about them not focusing on enemy harvesters. Leo Grande heard me apparently and said nope, and just took down the Harvester of Mayhem. He has the black buff. Yep. So the black buff will actually do this extra damage, and he's rotating over. They're going to pick up the blue buff, probably going to put it on Solo Nazgul, give him that cooldown reduction, and the regeneration from the blue buff as well. And Leo Grande is going to take out the other Harvester. We've got a rotation coming from the team. Leo Grande jumps on the Live Lunatic. Huge cull. Does a ton of damage, but they're able to zone. There's that flash. Oh my gosh, that smash and grab into the Tesla Dome. I mean, what is happening right now? That is 3 down.
Yeah, but they're all very, very low. They got to be careful. Laughing Cassie is here. Reflective Force does have that resurrection, but Rockman Walker is going to get cleaned up. They're able to take down Peace Turtle, but the Brux's job is to smash and grab.
Peace Turtle smash and grabbed and pulled 3 back into the Tesla Dome. They got a ton of value off of that Tesla Dome right here in this very awkward hallway. This pathway of death is what it just turned into.
Yes.
Bombardment came down from Lavi, but he wasn't actually... He was trying to use it as a zoning tool. It did not work very well. They actually took the damage from that because it is early on. And they continued to pursue and pick up those kills. I mean, we're starting to see Reborn. This is why Reborn is considered one of the top teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are super strong. They rotate. They play very well together. And it's when you play with someone so much, you kind of know what the next move is, and that's how these guys are. So they knew there was going to be engagement there, and they all rotated over to help clean up.
I challenge you, Josh, to hit the tab button and tell me what's wrong.
You challenge me to hit the tab button and tell you what's wrong.
So the big problem here, I think, is the levels. Faye is a hero you want to get early levels on. Steel, a hero you want to get early levels on. Faye, Live Lunatic just hit 5 9 minutes in. Blaze Master B is still not yet to even hit 5 9 minutes in, while everyone is hit 7. 4. Everyone is 7 on the other side of the field. Ignoring the card experience discrepancy, ignoring the last hits discrepancy between these two teams, I think Reborn, I mean, I think they were definitely a favorite in this match, but I wasn't expecting them to come out with this early of a lead and be this dominating this early on. I think it's not as much of a testament as Mayhem playing poorly, and more so just Reborn having these good timings around the buffs. Their lineup is very early game oriented. Chimera, he's known as that early game monster, that sort of fighter assassin that some people like to categorize him, and this is what we're talking about. Jumps in, uses the call, reflects to dive that tower. He doesn't care if he has the resurrection. And Rafflemore Waffle goes down. The thing about Sparrow is she builds tanky. She's that growth affinity. We talk about it all the time. Every time we see a Sparrow, she can pick up the Spike Bone Fade. She can pick up the Thorn Green. But if she gets behind at all, she becomes a huge liability. And against this heavy, just front-loaded composition that Reborn is running right now, I am very, very scared for Raffle My Waffle. I feel like a huge amount of priority for Mayhem should go into creating space for their Sparrow right now.
So you talked about this front-loaded composition, though. This team is going to excel early game to about the 36 plus card power, plus-ish card power range. And then they start to change positions. Leo Grande is going to go from this assassin who's in your face and is going to blow up the backline to his goal changes to, okay, this is my target. I'm going to jump in and Cole. And then I have to instantly back off and be a bruiser, a support, a tank type class. So he's not going to be dealing the damage he was dealing. So if you're Mayhem, we just turtle it out a little bit. We haven't lost any objectives. Yes, we're behind. But fight under your towers. They're going right back onto Raffle My Waffle. Reflect is diving that tower. His ultimate still didn't go off. Raffle My Waffle is going to be able to back up. Reflect is going to take some hits, but he should be able to escape.
Meanwhile, Griever, he's in a lot of trouble as well. Even with that ultimate online, that region isn't what it used to be. Faye's going to be forced to use a defensive fly trap. You know what? Mayhem just need to stabilize. They need to stop giving up kills in the jungle, and they need to regain control of their jungle. But I mean, through what mechanism could they possibly do that right now? With worried about Leo Grande, so on and so forth. Emsco using the GTFO, probably just trying to boss Laffy Taffy out of lane more than anything. He just probably use the ultimate, zone out, make sure that tower doesn't get pushed in, fall back, spend your card points, and so on and so forth. But they need to stay. Oh, Leo Grande, can he get there in time? I think he's going to. Oh my, that was so close. Doesn't get him. But he finds a Griever. Griever should be okay though. Pincer maneuver right here. Here comes Blaze Master B, is level 5. But they stabilize, they stop giving up kills. Next priority, next thing they should be focusing on is maintaining control of their jungle. And I just don't know if
they're not going to be able to control this jungle.
Not for a while. The Chimera and the Grux, Peace Sword on G, Leo Grande, are just simply too strong. They're at this is their peak. These two heroes, Grux and Chimera, they thrive in this 10 to 20 minute mark.
Yeah, they really do. And then damage starts to come online from Rangers and from other heroes. And I at this point, if I'm Mayhem, you can have my jungle. Take my jungle. Yes, you're gonna keep me under farmed a little bit, but we're gonna get in lanes. We're gonna let these towers push to us. We're gonna farm in lane, and we're gonna try and get that pick off. Imsco's alone over here. Imsco's been alone the entire game.
Yeah.
He's at 65 last hits. Rotation from Griever hit him with that boulder. I mean, if you have to ult him with Blaze Master B, you bait out the bubble, and then you ult him, and then you kill him. Pick up a kill. Start picking up some of these single kills. Stop letting them bully you. Yes, fight under your tower, but look for these single. I mean, they've got vision. They know there's 4 people on the other side of the map.
Yeah.
Get aggressive.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing here. I mean, just complete control of the map right here. And they're not going to let this up whatsoever. Let's talk about Nazgul's build on Gadget. Nazgul, very well known for his Gadget plays. Caster play specifically his Gadget play. And this is sort of a card build that he goes with specific to him. Goes with that Solaris Reactor, puts mostly energy damage into it with the major cast and the normal cast. But then adds in that extra mana regen. This is generally the first time he gets that Mind Flow, so there's synergy between these two cards. Mind Flow's a great card on heroes like Gadget. Gives you that extra cooldown reduction. And as well as the damage from the Mega Sword and the Chrono Tonic, or the Chronic Tonic as some people like to call it. So between the Chrono Tonic and the Mind Flow, he already has about 20% cooldown reduction, and he has the mana regen from the Solaris Reactor, so the uptime on the Mind Flow is going to be as much as possible, and still has his a mana potion and a regular health potion on top of it. So 5-0-2, 66 last hits. He's actually the most farmed person on the field. Most leveled person on the field. I think it's safe to say this is a carry Gadget.
Yeah, buddy. Who doesn't like a carry Gadget? I've been playing Gadget a little bit on my stream. An absolutely amazing hero. Everybody thought, casters were dead with the changes that came in 0.28, and we have seen in competitive play, casters still have a place, and they excel in a group environment. Yes, in solo play, it can be a little difficult if you don't synergize with your team well. But in a group environment, casters are very, very strong, and they are a force to be reckoned with. So the Imsco is over here again. He's just free in lane. He is pushing a tower right now. Are we going to see a rotation here?
Yeah, Peace Turtle's caught up Blaze Master B's by himself, though. Oh, Farewell Live Lunatic. Looks like there's a dive under the Tier 1 tower. And he's going to go right from the Tier 1 tower onto Laffy Taffy. Ultimate goes off from Laffy Taffy. Griever coming around the corner looking for a boulder. Laffy Taffy's in a very awkward position. He was able to land on...
That ultimate was in a really weird spot.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to be going down here. Yeah, this is not a good situation. Reflect, dive in the tier 1 tower. All the meanwhile, there's a whole bunch of things going on at once. Tower's getting pushed. A team fight going down. Smash grab. Onto all 3 people. Beautifully done. Reaver immediately pops into the Tesla Dome. You don't want to fight in that, but they're all melee. They're inside of it. Blaze Master B uses the shield slam, but it's completely null and void. He did it inside of the Tesla Dome. And, man, Reborn just continue to lay on the aggression. Basically, that was all because they caught out, not only, it was set up by the kill of Live Lunatic underneath the tower, then they caught out Laffy Taffy, forced out the ultimate. There was no synergy there between the Fae and the Howitzer, which we talked about is very, very important. They clean them up, and now the push continues down mid lane.
That ultimate that came out of Howitzer there, that bombardment ultimate, he was actually using it to clear the wave so they couldn't push the tower. And unfortunately, he just cast it a little bit too close to himself. He just cast it a little bit too close to himself. And it didn't...
You all right, man? You hitting puberty? There you go.
Let me try that again.
There you go.
Team, hello. There we go. I sound like a man again.
There you go.
He cast it a little bit too close to himself, and he wasn't able to kill that minion wave that was creeping in, which is very odd placement. And then he got caught out and killed there. It was tons of aggression coming out of Leo Grande, and then just a bad play out of Lavi, unfortunately.
Yeah. Mispositioning, definitely.
Cost you a tier 2 tower like this. Where if you look at the card power, Soul is at 33 card power. The highest on the side of Mayhem right now is Lavi with 18.
Yeah, that's this is gonna be pretty brutal, man. I think for now the sake is just fighting for morale, fighting for padding of the numbers, if you will. But Reborn are looking so very strong here. Certainly a favorite. If you guys are a fan of Reborn, you're a fan of Soul, Nazgul, Imsco, Grande, great streamers, great players. Obviously a great team is being displayed right here. Make sure you head over to Matcherino! Exclamation point Matcherino. There's all sorts of backer rewards, cool stuff going down. And you can support, if Reborn's your team, and you want to support them, you're confident they're going to win it, then that's the way to do it right there, ladies and gentlemen, is through Matcherino. And as long as they continue this, man, I mean, I feel like this is just their game to lose. They've been outplaying Mayhem in every metric that I can possibly think of. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Joshua and or Twitch chat. But, I mean, Mayhem, this doesn't feel like the Mayhem we're used to seeing. They definitely feel out of practice.
Yeah, I just think it's the over-aggression coming out of... We've seen teams do this in the past, and I'm going to let my bias show, unfortunately. We're going to talk about Triangle Formation here for a minute. Well, we saw Triangle Formation is a very aggressive team. Reborn has also been a team that's very, very aggressive, and we watched them dominate Triangle Formation. That's going to be a dead Imsco. We watched Reborn dominate Triangle Formation last week. Yes. A couple weeks ago, back in Agoras Rising 8. They've taken this very aggressive gameplay, they've turned it into their own, and with this this heavy melee fighter meta, Reborn has blown up. Yeah. They have become so strong and play well as a team in this new meta. And it's honestly some of the most aggressive gameplay we've seen out of these guys. Some people will call it a death ball. I just call it proper rotation.
Yeah,
they know when to rotate. They know where they need to be on the map at what times. They look at those certain timings again when the black buff spawns, when the team starts to rotate, and they just put in work. And they've taken this very aggressive gameplay and they make it look absolutely beautiful, and they execute it flawlessly.
So, 5-man push down the prime lane here for Reborn. I feel like they're just so far ahead, they could just continue to do these sieges like this. If this isn't even bad, I'd be concerned. But they have Reflect, Laughing Fast, going to the sky, laying down the ultimate. The Light Raptor is there. Leo Grande in the front line, just tearing apart Live Lunatic. Live Lunatic was at least able to use the ultimate before he went down on Faye. But the tower goes down. Peace Turtle, they're going to be alright. They get 2 kills. Reaver just now showing up to the fight, and Blaze Master B, this is getting worse and worse for Team Mayhem here. 3 down the tier 2 tower. Even though Reflect is low, he still has his Resurrection on 1. Peace Turtle, his job is to smash and grab and wave clear. And here comes the push for the inhibitor. GTFO used. Don't even ruffle my waffle. They're gonna go in there. Leo Grande pouncing on him. Looking for the snare. Preemptively, Soul Nazgul uses it. Down he goes. This should be a dead inhibitor. Reflect's gonna go down, but who cares? He's Greystone. He's got that hair in his boot. He's also got a snake in his boot. Toy Story.
Someone's poisoned the water hole.
And I think they're gonna go for the game here, man. I don't know if they're gonna be able to end the game. They're at least gonna be able to get damaged under the core. Just kidding. They heard me. They're like, nah, Shane's doing the shot calling. We don't want to listen to that. We're gonna fall back. But this is Agora is their oyster right now, and the Pearl is sitting right here. This guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official Paragon bot is dropping prizes right now. Shane, look at the jungle. Look at the wards in the jungle right now.
It's all just so many D-Illuminatis.
Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have 8 wards. They currently have 8 wards on red side of the jungle. Aggressive wards.
Yeah.
8 of them. Hello, team. They know where they want to push. They know where they want to push, and they're pushing that lane in, and they're doing it very, very well. I expect an Orb Prime. I mean, you can't contest this. You're this far behind in card power. 18, 21. Lavi is at 21 card power right now, and the rest of the team's 30 plus. Oh man, damn it!
Your game crashed?
Yeah, it freaking crashed, Shane.
Get bodied. So, ladies and gentlemen, talking about the Prime Guardian. For those of you just joining us from Open Beta, hello, welcome. You're handsome, you're beautiful, you're intelligent. Thank you for being here and welcome. This is this game's version of the boss. Your Roshan from Dota, your Baron from League, your Golem from Heroes of the Storm, whatever Smite has. I don't know. Anyways, the landscape of this area, much more wide open than the black buff, which we talked about. The black buff, big early game contention. Then it transitions to the other side of the map. As the teams come in here, you can tell they're warding it up already, so they know that there's going to be a battle for it right here. But the Prime Guardian drops the Prime Orb, activates the Prime card. They can carry it across the map to the turn-in, and offensively activate our own Prime's card. It's probably the most common win condition in the game. So Leo Grande with Chimera, I think they're just going to do the good old let Chimera solo this and just zone out for the rest of their team. Griever's going to get caught out by Peace Turtle. Just kidding. Peace Turtle literally doesn't care. He's just going to walk right by him. And, yeah, just D-ward, zone out, let Chimera sit there. The reason Chimera can do this is because he has that regen on his passive, his E or his square on his triangle. His triangle for you PS1 players. I believe I nailed that. And this right here, more than likely, is going to be the proverbial nail in the coffin. Even if they aren't able to turn this in, they can just get another inhibitor, they can take a team fight, and that's exactly what's happened here. Left is over here, zoning out for his teammate. The question is are they going to peel off the Prime Guardian and try to take this team fight? They have to be very careful. Smash and grab on a piece. Live Lunatic very low, goes down by the time anything early done. Shield Slam is going to hit absolutely nothing. He's just going to Shield Slam into the Tesla Dome. And Leo Grande is sitting there, not even worrying about this. Here comes Emsco, much more farmed than Raffle My Waffle. Flex going to go in there. Howitzer ultimate, pretty much just doing nothing. More of a defensive than anything. The uncle showing the niece what's up right now.
Hey, what time are you at?
This is not looking good. 22:30, my man. 22:32. 22:35.
I'm good.
Sick.
We good. 5 Lunatic just died.
Griever dead.
Griever's gonna die.
Yep.
We back in here. We back in, boys.
So
Our Prime is picked up by Leo Grande.
They can just turn it into the game. They can just turn it in and win the game.
Yeah, this is going to be a jaja, if you will. This was such a dominating play out of Reborn. I actually did not expect this play out of Reborn. I expected them to put on a good show.
Yeah.
But I expected Mayhem to come in and actually counter the aggression. And it's just the rotations out of Mayhem were on point.
Yes.
There wasn't a missed rotation. When there was a team fight taking place, 3 or 4 showed up within seconds. GG travel mode. 3 or 4 would show up within seconds and help turn that team fight. They played very aggressively. They played very well together. This is an Orb Prime, which means this is a dead core in about 7 auto attacks.
Blaze Master B is getting caught out. He's out there. I don't think he has his ultimate up. Boulder's going to be there on Reflect. Beautiful smash and grab. Howitzer Mine, Delta splitting them apart. But I think at this point in time, no matter how well they play, this is going to be Reborn coming in from the moment the gates dropped, looking so very dominating. They're ignoring the core. They want kills. They want to pad their Agora GG numbers. Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
And she'll be able to pick this up, ladies and gentlemen. Reborn! We talked him up! And they made us look good because we talked him up, and man, did they perform so very well there.